Can I be stoned?
Can I be high?
Can I be blazed?
Can I be dazed?
Can I be real?
Can I be real?
Can I be real?
You can pull it to the kick back. We got what you want in here. All the drinks is colder than my ex's pussy. You can seal that. Boy, who do you know in here? Don't know what you with your girl instead. She wanna, I'ma hit that. Come on, marijuana. All these niggas wanna smoke. You can sell it if you wanna. You can flip that. Baby, you relax and go kick back. Baby, you can pull it to the kick back.
What up? What up? We are live at the Lincoln Lodge podcast studio. This is Can It Be Real? I'm Kadeem, aka the Bama Burner, aka Loud Never Quiet. Yeah, and I'm gonna introduce my esteemed host, co-host.
I'm Kells the comic, aka Blowrilla.
Crazy.
I had an AKA. I was proud of that.
You brainstormed for months.
What do you mean? Since the first episode, like I gotta have an AKA.
I need one. I can't keep going this Kells.
Listen, oh God, I've been getting feedback about it. Anywho, and today we are reviewing the Chronic Laugh Show.
Chronic Laugh, stand-up comedy. Chicago's premier 420 show.
Okay. Who my co-host is one of the producers
one
on
of the
there.
Producers, the creator of it, the founder, but I can't do what I do without my amazing team. So.
Okay, and speaking of amazing team, we have here with us today
Andrye Austin.
Oh, I love
it. AKA Dreezy.
Oh, Dreezy. We got an AKA too. The guest has an AKA.
Came out the gate with one AKA. Another one.
I'm so glad I had an AKA today. Imagine. Okay. Well, how you feeling today?
I'm
Dreezy?
feeling good. I smoked today. I actually kind of messed up and almost told my big boss that I smoked.
You told your big boss, not the little boss.
Yeah, because we, for those of you that work from home, Zoom, and they have the feature to do the breakout rooms.
Yeah.
We had this department meeting where we had to go in these breakout rooms, and I picked this breakout room because there were these two people that I didn't want to be with. So I ended up kicking myself, or what's it called, shoot myself in the foot, and then I ended up in a breakout room with my big boss. And we had to answer these questions, and one of the questions were, what are some things that you collect? So I said magnets, because my partner and I, we collect magnets when we travel.
Okay.
And then I said lighters. I collect lighters. And then she goes, are you a smoker? And I was like,
candles.
I was like, something like that.
I dabbled.
She's like, my dad also collected lighters, but he was a smoker, and I guess he would smoke in the car with them, and the window would be like this big, but I kind of outed myself to my big boss. So,
Yeah.
But also, is she a victim of child abuse?
maybe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hopefully she doesn't have lung cancer, because that's scary.
She had to be the 70s. Nicotine wasn't like that back in the day.
Right.
It was like a little Febreze. It was just a little windy. It wasn't that bad.
They definitely were.
Well,
like
she
smoking.
never clarified what
The smoke
smoking.
was. Okay.
Yeah.
Could've
So
been
I
crack for all we
just
know.
said, I'm a comedian. It's social sometimes, here and there, but
Yeah.
but the way she made it seem she's like, we were like this in the car, and I was like, oh, what does that mean?
Days and blaze.
Yeah.
And
I just wanted to keep
That
it moving
sounds like child abuse.
because I like job security.
Okay,
Can It Be Real does not condone child abuse, even if it's the highest of the weed. We don't do it.
Oh
We
my
don't do it.
God.
Right, yes. Kids cannot give consent.
That
Okay?
is true.
Listen. Okay, but so both of you guys are producers on Chronic Laugh. We love this show. Tell us a little bit about this show.
Yeah, so let me give a little history.
Yes, let's get some history. Yes,
It's all about
the
the
history,
history,
man.
right?
Yes, let's talk about it.
I started the show in May of 2021. It was my first produced show in the city. I've been doing stand-up for 5 or 6 years. So at that time, maybe 3 years. So I was like, I needed something to start just getting more time on the mic and just trying to do different things. I've already smoked weed. And I was like, how can I bring, the stand-up element to it? It actually started, before it was Chronic Laughs, it was another show called Mask and Laughs.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a history behind it. It was me and my dealer. It's crazy. We were just smoking in my whip, right? She was like, man, I was telling him, bro, I want to get bigger at stand-up. I need to get a little bit more active. One of your crystals fell
I know
out.
it fell out.
I can't tell that story. This bad energy. Right? The
Right.
ancestors said no.
No, we are
Leave
not
the past
rocking
in the
with this.
past.
No mask, okay? And there's
jumped
no
out.
more. And there's no more. But no, tell us more.
So yeah, we was just in the car and I was just telling them like, yeah, like I said, I want to get better in stand up. We were just smoking. He's like, yeah, man, I got access to this space called the Pilsen Art House. It's a
Okay.
dope vibe. We do a lot of cool things. And so I was like, yo, bro, let's see if we can do something. So he connected me with the owner of it at the time. We got along, hit it off really well. I told him my plan. So we did that maybe 6 months before the first Chronic Laughs, and it was a complete shit show. It was a shit
Really?
show. We
'Cause
started.
I'm like, why didn't I hear about Mask and Laugh?
It was one and done. It was like, this is awful. It was awful.
Okay.
We was outside. There was like maybe 10, 15 people. We started like 45 minutes late. It was 6 comics. I brought 3 of my comics that I knew were funny.
Okay.
My dealer / business partner, he brought 3 of his people.
Okay.
And they were a little new. They were a little new.
All right.
And everybody's supposed to do 15 minutes, right? So I'm like, that's a lot.
For a new
That's
comic,
lot.
that's
I was
ridiculous.
3 years. 15 was a lot for me. I was,
Okay.
I was talking to one of the guys. He was like, yeah, man, I just started. This is my second time going up. Like, why are you here?
For 15
Yeah,
minutes?
15 minutes. Complete.
Were y'all paying people?
It's an
on
open
this?
Paying
mic
people.
show.
People were getting paid, so we end up going through it. We end up
Okay.
going through it. Everybody
That's why
did
the crystal
okay.
jumped out.
Yeah, she was able. Crystal must have been at the show because it was rough. It started rocky, but it ended up going pretty well. But after that, I realized there was a lot of things we had to do.
Okay.
So revamped it. 6 months later, I started again.
Okay.
With Chronic Laughs.
Yeah.
That was a sold out show. We had like maybe 60 people at our house.
Okay.
And then we've just transitioned. We started at Pilsen Art House. Then we went to Collab on the south side of Chicago. Then we went to Chiba Hut. We're gonna review Chiba Hut soon, so y'all learn more about that. And then we also now are currently housed in the Lincoln Lodge.
Whoop, whoop, Lincoln Lodge.
Yeah.
Now Andrew's been with me it's been 2 years. So how long you been with Chronic?
I would say since September 2021, which to me 2021 was like peak
Eons
pandemic,
ago, yeah.
like
Yeah. Wild Wild West. We weren't even supposed to be out there. But
Yeah.
And
I
y'all
guess
was.
that's where the Mask and Laughs came from,
Yeah.
because it was like
Oh, okay.
pandemic ish. So how many people did you actually have at that show?
15. 3 people walked out because we waited too long.
That's crazy. Because I actually remember when Chronic Laugh was at Pilsen Art House, and the one I was at, I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah,
This is great.
We had created a formula at that
Yeah,
point. I think when you
okay.
did it, we had like 70 people, which was at the time was our biggest
insane.
show.
That was
Yeah.
a great ass show, too.
And people could smoke. So the whole point was just a free space where people can enjoy comedy. They can smoke. We had vendors. We had people that were selling infused food. So if you were, it's
Tacos.
like a stoner's paradise, which is what I wanted. And it came to pass, and it's been rocking ever since.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's dope.
I like the evolution of the show because we have experienced a lot of changes, and from the art house in Pilsen to Collab being like a smaller space, and we learned a lot of things about like how the show was then too, and just having a smaller indoor space to smoke is not good for your lungs. And learning about like the different vendors that we've had too. Like there's one show in particular that I can remember, and we had ice cream, like infused ice cream.
Okay.
And the ice cream itself was like 100 milligrams.
150.
Like
Cool.
the fact that like we consumed that, and Kadeem, when he ended the show, he told everybody, "Good afternoon."
It was 10 o'clock at night.
So lit. But I really do love this show, and I knew that I loved it even before I met Kadeem. Like I saw this show and I was like, oh my God, this is cool, because I also date this producer as well. And so when I also started comedy in 2021, in March of 2021. So like trying to find like a community or a tribe within the comedy scene in Chicago was something that like I was trying to do, but it's kind of hard as a woman too. Mm-hmm. And back in 2021, in like my single days, like I was a stoner. And so I remember having the conversation with my friends about or one of my friends in particular, like, I just started comedy. Like, I'm a really big stoner. I would really like to do like a cannabis comedy show, but I didn't know like, you know, how that would go about. And I remember also like being on the dating apps and stuff, and I actually saw Mr. Fuller here and I swiped left. But that's because he was too short for my liking. But then my very first show, so I performed, my very first show was in May 26th. I never forget dates. May 26th, 2021. So I had my very first show I performed. And then after the show, I saw that there was an open mic at this bar called My Buddies, which was hosted by Mr. Fuller.
Wow. That was the Wednesday Night Lights days?
That was
Jokey days.
Jokey days.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So I went in there and he was hosting and he cracked a joke and I was like, oh, this short man is funny and cute.
Got him.
You gotta have jokes. You short. You gotta.
No. For me, when it comes to like dating people, it's the personality.
Absolutely.
So it's the fact that like he was able to like do that. And I remember whispering to my friend like, I think I have a crush.
Off one joke. What can I say? Off one joke.
And you don't even say that joke anymore, which is the craziest
I'm
thing.
revamp it. I got you. That was the whole point. I ain't gotta.
Yeah, but he was so clueless. It's the funniest part because I shot my shot and you just were like, shoo.
Hey, I didn't even.
You shot your shot? How'd you
Yeah,
shoot
I
your
did.
shot,
I said, hello, how are you?
And that is how black women shoot their shot. Listen, first of all, the fact that you had words in shooting your shot, that is like top tier shooting your shot, because also how black women shoot their shot is Lewis. That means not even an eye wink. Like, I'm looking at you. I want you to see me looking at you.
Yeah.
And then now you come over. Because if I don't look at you, that means don't look at me. But if I look at you, that means come talk to me.
It's like psychology of a black woman right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I also like, you know, shot my shot in the DMs.
Okay. Oh, this was a double shot?
But again, he was, you know, that little, that Instagram thing when it's like that little Spanish song. That's literally Kadeem.
Bro, what's up?
I know. I asked him about Chronic Laughs. I was like, I'm interested in this. And he didn't follow me back. So I was a little salty about that shit.
Going on during that time.
So I approached him at Jokey. I was like, hey, look, I DM'd you and you don't follow me back. And I need to know about this cannabis show, Chronic Laughs, because I'm a stoner and I'm just, you know, I want to get involved any way I can. So this was before the romantic part. I had my intentions on being a part of it.
She's not telling the whole story. She cornered me.
I did corner him.
She cornered me. She's like, hey, listen. And she pointed her finger at me. Hey,
my height.
I'm trying to get on this show.
Okay.
What you gonna do about it? I thought, wait a minute. Now I'm looking for backup. Like, what's going on right now, right? So, you know, I ended up following her back, and then we started having conversations about the show. And then it became like, you know, what else are you interested in? What's your hobbies? Who you be with?
Our education, our backgrounds were very similar.
Yeah, so we went on our first date, and it was just like
He thought it was the first date. I thought we were just hanging out, talk comedy.
You shot your shot twice, but you thought it was just a business meeting.
Comedians shoot their shot like, you want to write?
They always
that's that shit. Like, he laughed because that's
no,
you want to write.
It's
you want to collab with some jokes. It's like, nigga.
Yeah.
Let me punch up your writing.
Exactly.
I think you definitely did try that. Or like any questions that you have.
Yes.
I was going big bro into some stuff. I tried to big bro. Let me be your.
Yeah, don't big bro me.
He tried to mentor them draws up. He tried to mentor.
The crazy thing is too the fact that he tried that. You should tell him more about the date.
Oh Lord, what part?
The fact that you came over. And then you ate my edibles, and you smoked my weed.
Oh, y'all smoked all. It was
and
wild.
He fell asleep on my couch and didn't leave. Like, this man left the next day.
Man,
that was the first date?
Yes. Like, it's funny, too.
I was on hobo shit.
He was. I'm like, wow, this man doesn't know me from a pickle or a dime. And
that's crazy.
And I went in my room and I told him good night, but the fact that he fell asleep, we watched scary movies too.
I'm actually a little disappointed in you because you should have robbed him. like he would have woke up and not had a wallet fucking with me, and like I wouldn't even took anything. It's just
so?
Like, don't sleep over strangers' houses. Like,
right.
Real 101, I will rob you.
You're right. I knew he had money, but like I didn't think it was like I didn't think he was like, you know, city girls type shit. Like,
no,
I didn't want to like.
It's not even about the money. Right. Like, I mean, clearly you was.
It's about the lesson,
It's
apparently.
about the it's about the
Okay,
principality.
I should have done that. But you know what's crazy is the next day we got coffee. We went for a walk. I saw this dog in the neighborhood that we would see. His name was Red. And Red nipped at Kadeem. And so I believe that dogs are very, like, they sense stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this dog, Red, is trying to tell me some shit,
wow.
about him. And then his owner, what did his owner say?
Like, Red, we don't do that here, Red. We don't do that.
He was a woke white man.
And mind you, I'm from the South, okay? I know racist dogs.
Dog.
It's not
That-
racist.
that-
That
Yo.
dog, no, because you...
Red was looking at me like I was a suspect. Like, where were
because
you
he
last
knew
night? Like,
you mooched my couch. Maybe that's why Red was trying to tell me, like, get
Maybe.
rid
It
of him.
sounds like Red was an ex-police dog.
that's what it was.
Maybe. Red was cute. He smiled at my friend who's also black.
Was she light skinned?
He is darker than him.
Oh.
My best friend.
He's discriminated against brown skin.
Whatever. Or no, I almost said our dog's name. But I think that when it comes to, like, Kadeem and, like, how he touches dogs, it just comes off a little aggressive. And sometimes dogs are like, hey, buddy. Like, don't do that. Do not do that.
I do it. Come here, dog. Just a lot of
Yeah, you know how, like, 3-year-olds pet dogs all, like, aggressively?
Yeah.
That's Kadeem as a 30-year-old man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta give them a little stern petting. They need to
Sometimes
know.
you gotta get aggressive.
Yeah, you know.
I love you. I love you so much.
Going nowhere.
Absolutely not.
But yeah, so I mean, with Chronic, the cool thing is it's morphed into so many different areas.
yeah.
Because of Andrew, we also have another producer. Shout out to my boy Jamal Sanders, really good guy. We'll have him on the pod so he can talk about his experience. He elevated the show to a bigger level,
A new level.
So we've had producers come through, introduce certain things but there's always been a core. So it started with, like I said, vendors. It was very DIY. We didn't have Eventbrite. We was charging $5 at the door. Like,
$5?
$5.
Well, we've definitely evolved since then.
So now, but then, like I said, it was just almost like the Wild Wild West. It was during the pandemic. We had DIY vendors come in, so people had cookies and cakes that are edibles and different things like that. And then we moved to Collab, which is, like I said, on the South Side. It became like a hot box show, so you could smoke weed in the area because at Pilsen it was outside, so you can enjoy that and smoke as much as you wanted to. But with Collab, it was just dank. We did no ventilation system. It was very much wild.
Yeah, our lungs were. It was basically like a tiny desk for a comedy show, like of that.
It was cool.
It was cool, and shout out to Collab for letting us do that.
Ben, amazing guy. But we ended up doing really well in that space. We were there for almost like 6 months.
Yeah, we were 6 months.
Yeah, and then we went to Chiba Hut, which is probably our first indoor show. Chiba Hut, very amazing sandwich shop. Is a franchise across the city, across the country. It's almost like Quiznos, Subway with a weed element, but better food.
I was gonna say Quiznos is shitty. I don't care. Nobody eats Quiznos.
Is there a Quiznos anymore?
No,
I don't think so.
there might be one left.
There might be one or two, but
They
I
died
didn't
now.
like that shit.
That was
Quiznos
like.
So I don't want to disrespect Chiba Hut like that, but Chiba Hut is amazing.
Chiba Hut has way better sandwiches,
food,
like,
way better food. We're also gonna have one of the owners of Chiba Hut here on the pod soon. So that was the first kind of like conversation around corporate sponsorship. Okay. So we were there for a couple of shows, and then we ended up going to the Lincoln Lodge, where we've included the Sesh Bus, which is
the Sesh Bus was Sesh Bus. That's a word. The Sesh Bus. We introduced it at Chiba Hut actually, and that was one of our largest shows
at the time.
The first time we transitioned last May to Chiba Hut. We have had the Sesh Bus, so we've actually been working with the Sesh Bus for a year, a complete year. Okay. And it's crazy because the owner looks like Nipsey Hussle. Like, it's such a vibe. Like, basically the Sesh Bus.
You'll get it soon.
One day. The Sesh Bus.
Sounds like you're saying the sex bus, but the Sesh Bus is a really cool bus where our the people that are attending the show, they get to come and they get to smoke before they attend the show. So we have the bus come out like an hour or two before the show starts. And if you buy your ticket, that includes like you getting on the bus. Sometimes they have goodies depending on like the specific sponsors or the cultivators that we have. That Jamal is our like connection with that. And so people also are allowed to bring their own cannabis to smoke on the bus.
Mobile dispenser on wheels.
Love that.
And they have candy, they have chips, they have water.
Yes.
So the last time, the last show that we actually had, all of the producers, we all like took turns to get on the bus. I only lasted for 15 minutes on the bus. I was lit the entire night.
And then after that, you got to perform stand-up. So we got the people in stand-up coming through.
So, Chronic Laugh, when you guys were at Pilsen, that was the very first time that I smoked weed and did comedy. And I was like, I smoke weed and I do comedy. This can't be that hard, right?
Put it together.
And so I remember I was there and I was like, oh, this is a vibe. And like everybody was smoking and I was like, okay, well, I'm grown. Like I can smoke too. And I remember I got a taco and I got some lemonade. And
both had THC in it.
Both.
Oh yeah,
had
I
THC
remember
in
that
it.
lemonade.
And so I think I may even got like 2 tacos because the messed up part about it is also I was hungry. So before I went on stage, I was like, okay, I'm gonna fuck one of these tacos up. I ate the taco and then I think I had smoked. And then I went on stage. I think Kadeem was like, "Lo, you got like 15 minutes." And I was like, "Cool." And in my mind, I was up there for 22 minutes. And when I got off stage, Kadeem said, "You had about 6 minutes left." What did you do?
I remember that.
I was up there and like it was everybody was vibing with it. And I was just like, "Yep," and it hit. I want to say good night. Thank you. I'm done. Kadeem was like, "You was killing. What's the problem?" I also am high as shit. Then my mom was there.
I remember.
She was high. Fucking. Then
her friends were there.
Her
they
friend
were
was high. She was
so
zooted.
lit.
Then it was the smoke break. And then also like I'm an adult and you know my mom has a rule like don't smoke in front of your whatever. So then I went over there. It was like some other comedians like we were smoking. And I remember by the time the fucking headliner got on, I was sitting in a chair like, dear Lord, if you let me make it home, I'll never do some irresponsible shit like this. And like also we had the show, so people talking to me like, "Oh, Kells, you
killed it." Yeah.
I was not there. By the time I got home, I had to process. Like when I saw pictures, I was like, "Oh, I didn't look that bad." Like okay, I was not there.
You know it's bad when you had to do the stoner's prayer, like, "Lord, please."
I
please,
was
Lord.
so fucked up, and then I was like, okay. Literally, while I was in the audience, I was like, he got something because also. Everything that everybody said was funny because I was high as a draft booger. I'm like, and like, dude hadn't even opened his mouth yet. I was like, no, I'll wait. You're right.
That's the best part. I think that's the best part because you learn so much about yourself high and then doing stand-ups, which is a active act that you have to engage the crowd. But when they're high, you're high. Absolutely. It's like almost like a stoner session, right?
Absolutely.
But I remember that show, Kells. You did a good 10 minutes.
I saw a solid 10 minutes, and I got on stage. You went.
I was eating my taco. Like, what's going on?
Let me tell you something. I did the exact opposite the next time you booked me. When I was at Collab, I didn't smoke that entire day. When I came in, I was like, no, I will drink water.
Give me nothing.
Nothing. And then after I was done, I was like, okay, I did the appropriate amount of minutes.
You did 15 in.
I will take a taco now.
That's funny.
After my work here is done, we can do it. Man.
It's one of the best shows because every crowd is different. We've had shows that have been too high. Like when you're too high, like that's the worst.
We've had comics
you don't move,
that
right?
get anxiety too because of smoke, especially when it was indoors, but it's changed so much. I think that sometimes people might think that the comedians have to smoke. Okay. And you don't have to smoke on the show, but I think the concept is mostly just performing in front of a high audience.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we've had comedians that thought they were gonna, I don't know what they thought they were gonna do, but they thought they were gonna get these high people laughing and energetic. Yeah. But high people are the most lackadaisical. Yeah. That's a real word. Yeah. Lax, like laughers. Like they may be laughing, but they might also like stare at you. And Absolutely. So sometimes I host. We have like a rotation. And so I hosted one time and I remember this guy just like this.
at your soul.
And I was just like, you're staring in my soul, sir. Like, I don't even know you. Like, are you trying to take me to dinner or something? Like, how are you staring in my soul? You trying to see what I'm doing next week? Like, what are you doing? And there's definitely times where you think that it's so funny, like your joke, and then everybody's just like,
Because sometimes people laugh in their head. They're like, ha ha.
Yes.
Ha. It's in their eyes. Like, it's
Absolutely.
hilarious, but it's not coming out.
Absolutely. No, that happened to me. That first, shout out to Hunter Hirsch. Is that his name?
yeah.
Hirsch.
He was on that show that I was talking about at Pilsen, and he might have been halfway through his set, and the entire time I was laughing, but it wasn't audible yet because that taco was fucking me up.
Damn.
And he like got on the ground and did some shit, and I remember like when I actually audibly laughed, I was like, oh shit. Then I was like, oh wait, I'm in a comedy show. That's fine. Like that's
Can I laugh?
like I was like, okay, wait a minute, is that okay? Okay, cool. But I'm like, no, it had nothing to do with him being funny. It was just like I am fucked up. And then after I laughed, I was like, okay, I can keep doing this as long as nobody's staring at me. Like that's how high I was.
Paper bag.
It was crazy. Like I didn't think about I wasn't asking nobody about milligrams. I was like, you get a taco, you get some lemonade, all of the weed, and this will not affect me.
I had no
Weed,
idea.
Oprah.
I know how. You're right. There was no nutritional value.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah,
It was just
I
like,
know.
this is how much this costs. Do you have it? Okay.
Oh my gosh. I just remembered at the Pilsen Art House, there was a vendor that sold THC lube.
Lube.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I remember one time I just put it on,
Okay, what did it do?
well, it didn't get me high in that moment, but
It delayed.
I went out somewhere and I was like, why am I so fucked up right now?
It actually got you high and not just like your nooch.
Yeah. I mean, if my pussy was
I mean, like, how does I don't know. Like,
it's
I was like,
already
why
high,
am
I'm
I-
tall.
First of all, what the fuck is a nooch?
Listen.
What is
Yeah,
a
I
nooch?
never heard that before.
Okay, it's a word from New Orleans, and also it's
Oh.
when you don't want to be vulgar and be like, mop, or stuff like
my
that.
cooch
Nooch is
cat.
wild.
Yeah,
My mom used to call it a tukey.
A tukey. You gonna laugh at nooch?
Did you watch
And we
your
walking
Tukey?
around here naming our vagina after old school
My
criminals.
mom was is a Caucasian
Tukey
woman, so
sounds like a criminal. Tukey got a criminal record.
my Tukey is
Tukey
tropical.
Johnson.
Tukey Johnson,
Tukey Johnson.
exactly.
Yeah, I know Tukey
He
Johnson.
got a cracked leather jacket. Like, this is terrible.
Hey, player. Hey, say slim. Say slim.
He sell Rolexes out of his sleeve. Like, Tukey's a terrible man.
But yeah, that lube was wild.
It was.
Cause it
but we
didn't
did
hit.
it.
It
It
didn't
did
hit.
afterwards, though. We thought
Yeah.
it was gonna do something.
You gotta
and
time it out right because we was
Oh my
already
God.
45 minutes.
But
We in the
that's
store
crazy.
like, oh, I'm feeling. You feeling it now? That was an hour ago.
Shit! Oh my God! Yeah, that was the wildest thing.
That's an interesting type of. Okay.
Oh, it was. I was gone. I was hanging out with friends. I was like, Jesus, where am
Now,
I?
granted, she used half the bottle. I'm gonna get
I
my money where
did
she's
not. I don't need half the bottle, boo.
Like, come
He
on, baby.
trying it.
Also,
Okay.
is this how we.
I was gonna say my pussy is not that long. What the fuck? Making me
God.
feel like I got an axe throwing pussy. My God, no,
Let's see how far it got out.
Okay.
no.
Baby, you good.
Thank you so much.
You good, man.
All right. I do have a
I'm
favorite
a fan.
memory.
I'm a fan. 10 out of 10.
Do recommend.
Jesus. All right. Fuck K and Y. We're gonna get that THC.
I'm telling you, we need to patent that.
Oh my God. Okay. So talking about the shows, what are your top 3 favorite episodes between the two of you guys?
I'm gonna let Andrew go.
So because we like rotate a lot of times of like the different shows and like different things, I would definitely say, I think, even though I didn't host it, I think that like our last show was like really fun. But that's because like I was the door, I was feeling good, I was making people happy, I was lit, and he hosted and he did a great job hosting. It was amazing. Our headliner, shout out Arlita Hall, she was the headliner. She did an amazing job, and I think it was my favorite because we had like 2 people that came to Lincoln Lodge to see another show. And, they came to us thinking that it was the show that they were supposed to go to. And I'm checking their IDs because we have to check IDs because you have to be 21 and up to attend the event. And I'm looking on Eventbrite for their names and I don't see them. And I was like, oh, you're here for the wrong show. But then I told them, I was like, hey, but, we have a smoke bus, we have this. And they were like, sign us up, like, you know. And then after the show, like, they came up to us and they were like, this was the best night of our lives. We're so happy we did it. Like, the girl, even though I get a little jealous sometimes, but the girl came up to Kadeem and hugged him, and, you know, you would have thought, like, we gave her a brand new car or something. But, like, we changed lives here at Chronic Labs.
I love that.
It was amazing. That was a top tier moment for me.
It was a fun show.
It was a lot of fun.
It looked like they were arguing before. That's what
Yeah,
it looked like.
with that, you know,
They was about to break up. They was just,
Y'all saved a relationship.
Yeah.
A relationship.
we
saved.
probably
I love
had people
that.
hook up from the show too.
yeah.
I would
She
imagine.
hugged me like we needed this. I was like, oh, y'all about to break up tomorrow without this show.
She put her wedding ring back on. Thank you. You saved us.
Yeah, no. I definitely say. I would even say. Dang, we've been at Lincoln Lodge for a while too.
Yeah, I'll tell you my favorite. I think this was this year, the Women's History Month.
Yes.
We had a show. We had two amazing headliners. We had Kristen Toomey,
Erica
as well
Nicole
as Erica
Clark.
Nicole Clark, like a
Oh,
double
killers, yeah.
headliner. Both of them women are amazing. And Andrew was hosting, and I think
yeah.
we had completely sold out. I think we oversold out. We had like over 115 people in the Lincoln Lodge.
All right.
And seeing Andrye host it, like she's been hosting for a decade, was something cool to see because of knowing that she started recently, so she's starting to feel herself as a comic.
Okay.
So I think that was my favorite part, just to see her be in that moment and then host the hell out the show.
Okay. Cool.
Don't make me tear up. That was a fun event, and I think I was just so excited because even the sponsor that we had for that show was super cute, fetch, and girly too. Like, do you remember the name of the sponsor?
Edie Parker.
Edie Parker, yes. So she actually used to be like a clothing designer, but then ended up getting into the cannabis industry. Ooh, can drink this water.
But yeah, those are some of my favorites. We had amazing show. We had one with Just Niche. We sold that out.
Oh, but it was a good show, but all of our vendors at the time like didn't come. It was so bad, but it ended up being a good show.
The Chronic Labs without the Chronic. Nobody showed up.
Yeah, so that was something. I'm trying to think of like one of my like top favorites. We've had so many that were like really good, and then there's some that are like, oh, this was great. This was great.
Memorables. I can tell you the worst experience.
Oh,
Okay, yeah,
I thought
give
you were
me
gonna
that
talk
one.
about the hottest day of the
That's what I'm
year.
about to do now,
Oh
so-
shit, yeah.
So this was a movie at Chiba Hut, right? This
Okay.
was last year. It was during the hottest day in Chicago, right? When they had to put the sprinklers on. People were struggling during that time. We had the show. It was at Chiba Hut, like I said, so there was water and everything. It was our first time, one of our first time using the sesh bus, so people didn't understand that you can go on and smoke. At that time, like now we've changed it up where you get 30-minute increments.
Okay.
But at that time, people were just smoking for hours, right?
Oh.
And this one of the women that we had, she was an audience member. So we start the smoking at 7 to like 9, and then the show starts at 9, right?
Okay.
So by 8:45, she went to the bathroom, right?
She actually pushed like past me. Like as we were about to start, I was hosting that too, and I got too high. So that was awkward.
Yeah. So everybody was high
she
during
was
that time.
fucked up, but
She
she
was messed
wasn't
up.
just high. She was drunk too.
Yeah. So basically, she went into the bathroom and shit on herself.
Stop. Okay, Kadeem.
Yeah.
And everywhere.
Kadeem.
Dookie
I thought
Brown
it was pretty
everywhere.
funny. But when
Booty hole brown. You feel real poster. It was like a chocolate
But
Willy Wonka.
she had a skirt on too.
This
which
was here?
correct. No, this
was
is
at
at
the
Chiba.
Chiba
Oh,
Hut.
Chiba Hut.
So I didn't even know about it until the owner of Chiba Hut said, "Hey."
Yeah, he whispered in my ear. He's like, "I gotta clean up this shit."
Wait a
shit
minute.
on herself.
On herself, did she come back to the show?
No.
No, hell no. She had to go home.
She got a little white
They had to help her out.
towelette. She had to get a moist towelette. You got to get up out of here.
I felt bad because I'm pretty sure a manager of a sandwich shop never intends to clean up actual
Actual
shit sandwich. Yeah, like
We had to have people sign waivers. People are passing out,
What?
not eating beforehand.
Yeah, but
coming
you
and
know when
smoking.
it's hot, like we're not a music
Yeah.
festival. You have to drink water, and like if you're in a restaurant, you should be drinking water. In summertime, you should be drinking water anyway. If
Yeah.
you're smoking, you should be drinking water.
Yeah, that was the first time
Yeah.
where it really realized like this is just us. If something
Man.
happened and she had passed out and
Busted her
passed
head
away with
and
boo boo
shit.
on her face,
Wow.
we
Yeah.
would have been
Shit literally
Yeah.
got out of control.
literally out of
It
hand.
literally.
got out
It
of
was like,
control.
what was that shit last year? The Woodstock. That's what it felt like,
Woodstock
but like
95 or
minimal.
whatever.
Although we were prepared. I think it was her.
She passed out. That was the most memorable experience.
That's insane. Okay, that also probably would have been my last day with the show, but y'all kept going.
We kept
Like,
going.
what?
We did.
A lady
If you
just
can't go to a show and shit on yourself, where can you go?
But that's a new level of
Okay.
like fucked upness, you know?
I
like,
mean-
you know, I think that now just coming out of a pandemic, a lot of people they lost
Yeah.
that ability to like go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Like I remember even going to a club and there was piles of throw up. I'm like, damn, y'all, you don't get that lit before you go to the actual place. If you're gonna get too lit, don't leave.
And also, though, depending on how you coped with the pandemic, like some people either got really high and really
Yeah.
drunk or they didn't at all. So then when they started back, it's like your tolerance
It's
is
just like going back to college,
I
going
shit on
freshman year.
myself. Yeah,
Ugh.
it's crazy.
It changes up.
Okay.
completely.
That's okay. So tell me about producing woes that you guys may have run into producing a show like this.
Well, we date.
Okay. Yeah. So,
So
how is that producing as a couple too? Yeah.
It's all about balance. I would say. I think a lot of times we'll find ourselves just talking comedy or talking about things that we could do better, and then it's just like, oh, well, you know, we need to do like date night or something like that. And then I think just the simple fact of like us being different types of stoners. I feel like I think I'm the real stoner
Okay.
in the relationship.
Okay. And what kind of stoner are you?
The other real stoner. I'm not a
real
fake stoner.
Okay. Well, what's your definition of real stoner?
Because when we first like started dating, I used to outsmoke him and stuff, and I just felt like I was a big dog. Like
Okay.
I was that girl.
Okay.
I mean, I'm also not that girl because I call myself a bowl bitch.
Oh, a
I don't
bowl.
know
smoking
how to-
bowls.
I don't-
I'm smoking
I don't know
joints.
how to roll.
Okay.
I'm smoking blunt.
Yeah, no. But I like my lips, baby.
Oh.
So
Okay.
this is my best asset. My
Oh.
So, yeah,
Just kidding.
she can't smoke with the best of them. I will say
Man, I
that.
used to take bitches down.
Okay.
In the circle. I had a smoke Olympics too before I met him, and we just kept passing. We bought an ounce, passing it till people just couldn't smoke no more.
How did that work? And also, did you have activities to do the next day?
No, I didn't. But I would really like to revamp it and actually have activities of like,
Ooh.
you know, us doing an edible and seeing how much or who spends the most at Target. Because
I'm gonna opt out of that. I'm gonna opt out of that every time. Every time.
Lost $500.
Man, and can't tell you
Man.
why. Flip flops, all over flip flops. Like, no, I can't. No, thank you.
$5 with the flip.
I can't. The next day you return it. My bad. I'm sorry. Boop. Boop. Can I get that in cash
Not
or
in the flip flops, but
man?
Ooh, another woo that I just thought of that I think happens often is creating the lineup.
Okay.
I definitely say that because there are times where, like, you know, there's just certain times where we're like, is that who you thought? Yeah. No, that's not what we're going to do.
So,
that's
especially
a rough part.
being
That is a rough part.
stoners and knowing like what you want to laugh at when you're high, how does that go into you guys creating a lineup?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
yeah. I think for me, I try to only book people who've made me laugh. Which is the best way. I'm not booking my friends or people who
Right.
genuinely made me laugh and us laugh. And then I'm open to just expanding the show to different type of comedy. We've had people do singing, we had deadpan, we had energy, Calvin
Interactive comedy.
interactive comedy. Calvin Evans, great stand up.
Oh, yeah.
He did the piano.
Yeah, that was
A couple last year. So I'm open to any and everyone as long as you have number one, that you're a stoner and you know how to deal with stoners, because that's the
Okay.
worst part. If you don't smoke, it's a weird environment, and knowing how to maybe get a laugh from people who maybe physically too stoned to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, agreed. Okay. So, we always rate the things that we review out of 5 blunt wraps. Even though you guys are the producers, what would you give Chronic Laugh out of 5
Gotta go
blunt
over
wraps?
this criteria. What is
Okay,
what are
right.
the 5
Okay,
blunt
what
wraps?
are the 5 blunt wraps? Hold on. It was creativity.
Creativity.
Right. A vibe.
The vibe.
Oh,
Okay.
the
The cost.
The cost, which, okay. And then what was the other? The potency, right?
The potency.
Which, okay, that hits. And then what was the other one?
The other one was wow factor, right?
Yes, the wow factor.
So those are the 5 requirements, criteria for the 5 blunt wraps. What would you give Chronic, Andrew, for the 5 blunt wraps?
Well, this isn't.
Or how
like-
many blunt wraps out of 5?
How many blunt wraps?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 5 blunt wraps, of course. This isn't like my job where they tell you don't rate yourself high. No, I'm gonna rate myself high because I put my life in for this.
I
You
know,
know,
that's right.
like we work really hard and like we definitely try to put on a good show. And I think it is cool, even though there have been woes. There have also been like really good moments,
Yeah.
especially like the fact that like I was able to meet somebody, date somebody, and then like be a co-producer with them and like make some shit shake, and not Keith, but we made some shit shake.
That
And
was a good one.
I liked it. Yeah,
I like that. I like that one. That was good.
I like Keith too.
Okay.
I would agree. 5, and when I started the show, before I even had the producers, like, how can I make money off the industry, right? Because black folks ain't getting money off this,
Listen,
right? So I'm like, how
listen.
can I make money? I need my
Okay.
money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, even with you saying that, so what were your expectations when you first started the show versus what they are now?
I don't think I had much expectations at that point. To be honest with you, I knew I wanted to combine weed and comedy, and then whatever happens. I was blessed to have a bunch of producers currently, like Jamal, Andrye, even our old producers that are no longer with the show through various things. Introduce a logo, introduce like Eventbrite. Like I would be waiting by the door when I first started. Like hopefully somebody come. I don't know who are coming, and it was $5 now. Like the money is up there now. We $15 to $20, but we have so many corporate sponsorships, and it's a vibe now. But starting at $5 and just watching it evolve till now. This show has been the best because I've learned about how to be a producer, how to be a team member, and just always making sure that the audience gets what they want. Because at the end of the day, we pushing a product. I look at Chronic Laughs as a strand of weed, right? If it's good, people gonna keep coming back to it. But if you serving Reggie, it's gonna people ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's funny because he actually refers to Chronic Laughs as his baby.
Aw.
I'm not his baby. He refers to it as his baby.
My baby
Well,
too,
y'all
baby.
I
I can have more than one baby.
I know, but I do love this show. I think that the product is really good, and I do a lot of the show because like my sister that passed, she was like a big smoker, and so like I sometimes I like dedicate it to her, like I'll perform, and I hope it makes like her happy, or like my family and like people in Chicago. Even people that like I don't fuck with no more. But
To all my haters.
yeah,
All my haters.
that part. Don't make me start doing the Shawty Low dance.
Yo, fun fact, did y'all know Shawty Low was dead?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I did not know. Can I tell you when I found out?
When did you find out?
Please.
Days ago.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say 2 years ago. I
No.
was gonna say,
Yeah,
girl.
for
days
2 or
ago.
3, 4 years.
No,
He's been dead longer than that.
2016.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
been
wow.
way
I
longer.
was inconsolable for about 45 seconds.
Nobody told me
I
nothing.
literally said that. Nobody told me nothing. Not Shorty Low. They supposed to know and I didn't know. Like, what is this?
You didn't know that?
I didn't know, and he got a song saying they know.
Yeah,
and I
they didn't
know.
know. They didn't know.
Didn't know.
And he
Nobody
yelled
told
at me about
nothing.
Patrick Swayze being dead. I knew he was
She didn't
dead.
know Patrick Swayze was dead.
Because I
mean,
did.
I don't think she knew. I don't think she knew who Patrick Swayze was.
Because I've been
she
trying to
lived
get him.
and he lived and died
No,
at the
I
same
knew
time
it,
for her.
Whatever. I was trying to get him to watch Tu Wong Fu because it was a classic when
Okay.
I was growing up, but he refuses to watch it. I don't know why. You can ask him, but I'm trying to get high and watch it, as an
Oh,
adult.
it would be a good
Because
movie to
being an
watch.
adult and
be
watching
good.
movies from like the 90s and like late 80s, there's a lot of like cringe shit.
Very cringe. Okay, so tell us where we can find Chronic Laugh, any information. If I want to come see Chronic Laugh, what's up?
Yeah, so Chronic Laughs is actually once a month at Lincoln Lodge. It's the last Tuesday of the month. And you can find us at Chronic Laughs Comedy on Instagram. And are we allowed to say like where we're gonna be in August?
Let's hold
We're
off
gonna
on
announce it. Okay, that's a secret.
we got some more
So
stuff
just
coming your
follow
way.
the page and you'll see the secret soon.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're good. Before we wrap it up, we do want to ask the audience some questions. The first question we want to ask is, would you attend a comedy show where everybody's just basically blitz out of their mind? Okay, and 2, how often do you do something either for your profession or activity high and blitz out of your mind? Okay, you guys can leave us a comment under the reel. Leave us a comment wherever you are watching this, under the podcast, on YouTube. Send us a email to cannabereal@gmail.com. Yeah, all that fun stuff. Any last?
This has been fun. Thank you, Andrew.
Oh, this is a
Thank
blast.
you, Andrew.
I had a great time.
We appreciate it.
It's just like chatting.
My co-host, my love, my ride home, all that good
My
stuff.
ride home. That's what that's been the whole time, bro.
That's it. Got him. Yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. I'm Kadeem, aka Bama Burner, aka Loud Never Quiet, and then my co-host
Kells the comic, aka Glorilla. What? I got an aka son, guys. And thank you to our guest,
Andrye Austin, aka Dreezy out this bitch.
Woo, all right, we out.
Yeah, you can pull to the kick back. We got what you want in here. All the drinks is colder than my ex's pussy. You can seal that. Boy, who do you know in here? Don't know what you with your girl. Instead, she wanna, I'm a hit.